Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and this is my third video on Kingdom Under Fire 2, and in this one we're going to focus on the action and RTS elements of the game. Disclaimer, as with the first two videos, this third and final one is sponsored by Gameforge. Check the description for links to the other two videos, and that out of the way, let's get started. So when I call Kingdom Under Fire an action RTS, I mean that in the sense, quite literally, that it is like two games blended together. On the one hand, you have Dynasty Warriors style 1 versus 1,000 combat, where your character will be thrown into a battlefield with hundreds of allies and enemies milling about, and you can take out dozens of them at once with your hero character's powerful abilities. But then you can also pull the camera out into a tactical view, wherein you can move troops to new positions, command them to use their unit abilities, and so on and so forth. If we break it down into its simplest form, we have three options for your units: support, attack, and defend. Support means your units will follow you and help you against your enemies. Attack? Well, you can set them to attack manual targets, or to aggressively seek out enemies. Or you can have them on defend, and they'll surprisingly defend a location, such as a gate or bridge. As for the types of troops, well, I can't talk about all of them because I don't have all of them, and it will take a very long time to get them all, but I've seen a good variety, so here's a slight sampling of what you can expect to see. Infantry. These can range from things like standard foot soldiers, crusaders with paladin-style support abilities, spearmen who are good against cavalry charges, berserkers who deal more damage the more danger they are in. I've seen elven archers who can heal other units, human longbowmen who specialise in fire arrows to destroy structures or airships, and riflemen who can deal huge damage to single units, making them almost like ranged hero killers, you might say. Cavalry. Great at flanking and controlling the battlefield, mounted units can turn most unmounted enemies into fodder, tearing through them, but obviously they aren't going to be much good against troops behind a wall, be it a spear wall or a stone one. Special units. I'm not sure exactly how else to refer to these, but things that can, instead of being a bunch of small dudes, be one larger thing, such as a scorpion tank that is great at taking down castle gates and the like. Then you have things like casters, wizard troops, ice mancers, lightning mancers, and of course there are siege units such as a trebuchet. Beyond that, it's also worth noting that your troops come in various flavours or races. You could have an army made up of humans, or of elves, or monsters like orcs, or a combination of whatever suits your style. Having freedom there is nice, just like in, say, Warcraft 3, where one player might want to favour night elves and another the undead. But of course here you can mix and match, or specialise in one race. Also, your troops can be managed quite in depth to boot. To put it simply, you can level up troops which will increase their basic stats, such as taking them from 100 attack to 200 attack and giving them more health points. But you can also rank up troops. If you've played any gacha games with a star-based rarity system, you'll know what to expect here. Taking a troop from rank 1 to rank 2, or 1 star to 2 star, will give them new abilities and enhance them in a more unique manner, but it's harder to rank them up. Leveling up troops just uses barrack EXP, which is gained from playing the game. Ranking up your unit will require specialised materials, often things called vision stones, that can be obtained through various means in the game. And this is where I imagine a lot of the endgame content comes into play, gathering the rare rank up materials to make your troops as strong as they can be. Also, as you progress further through the game, you'll unlock more and more troops that you can bring into battle with you. That's a smart way to do it, as starting you with just 1 or 2 allows you to better micromanage them, and as you steadily progress, you can get used to adding a 3rd and a 4th unit. Controlling them feels good. It's very easy to quickly swap to a unit and use one of their abilities or reposition them. And with the default key of F4, you can quickly highlight all of your units if you want to give them a battle-wide command. If you don't really want to micromanage them a lot, you'll probably be fine with just setting them to support, so you can focus on the more Dynasty Warriors side of combat. I imagine further into the game, managing your troops will be increasingly important though, in the harder content. But that Dynasty Warriors style combat? Well, it shares with DW the concept of fighting dozens of enemies, but the actual flow of combat is a little different. Whereas in DW, you tend to chain together a string of weak hits that have their own heavy charges, in Kingdom Under Fire, it's almost like a hybrid of that and an MMO's hotbar combat. I'll be talking about the spell sword as that's the character I played. There's light attack on left click and strong attack on right click. But these don't do much damage, so we have abilities bound to numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can upgrade these abilities to have combo chains. Take this lightning ability for example. If I press 2 and then left click, it will do a chain of swirling kicks. Whereas if I hit 2, then right click, it will do a different attack entirely. Usually these attacks are split between ones that are good for a single target and ones that are more for areas. All of this is building runes, a resource that I can spend using R, and what ability happens when I hit R depends on the number and type of runes. It actually reminds me a lot of the Samurai's Iaijutsu in Final Fantasy XIV if you play that game. Especially as I also have Iaijutsu bound to R. The 1 lightning rune will give you a different attack compared to 3 lightning runes, and you can combine the ice and lightning runes, so there's a lot of combos you can get to. And then you also start getting mastery points a few levels into the game, which allow you to further enhance your abilities in a sort of talent tree specialization window. I rather enjoy the combat in this game, as it's simple but feels fun and satisfying. Of course, you can block and dodge, and once enemies are tripped, you can do powerful ground attacks on them. And enemy commanders can enter a weakened state where you can deliver a sort of finishing blow to them, which are always fun too. It isn't quite on the level of the best Dynasty Warriors games though, but the RTS stuff actually really helps the battlefield come alive. In fact, I would really love to see a future Dynasty Warriors game take a few things from Kingdom Under Fire, such as the real-time management of troops. How could it be improved? Well, that's hard to say because the overall feeling of the game could be a little better, but unfortunately it's one of those things that's really hard to explain. Why does shooting a gun feel good in one game but not in another? Is it the feedback, the sound, the physical impact it has on enemies? Probably a mix of it all. Perhaps they just need to increase the physics and ragdolling of your attacks so you can really send enemies flying to make you feel as powerful as you are. Assuming that wouldn't melt machines from handling physics for hundreds of enemies at once though. I think that about covers it for Kingdom Under Fire 2. I've enjoyed covering the game, and there's nothing else quite like it that I've played. I hope that, going forward, Gameforge will continue to support the game in a way that is fair for players, perhaps allowing us to purchase cosmetic items with the in-game currency, even if it takes a while to achieve it. Of course, games are expensive to make and manage, so I understand they need to monetize games in new ways to help stay afloat and profitable. I hope they'll find good ways to manage that. Is it possible to be fair to players and profitable? Definitely. Off the bat, I think Kingdom Under Fire has had a good start, as I've also not had any server issues or general bugs with the game, I should point out. I would like to see the classes no longer be gender locked. I would like to see more sliders put in for characters' height and things like that. And I would also like it if we could obtain these cosmetics through normal gameplay, even if it takes a while compared to just buying them. If you feel like checking the game out, I've got a link to it in the description. And of course, if you have any questions I didn't cover in any of these 3 videos, leave a comment and I'll respond ASAP. Until next time, well, thanks to Gameforge for giving me the chance to cover a pretty fun game. And thank you so much for watching. Take care, ciao.